I'm a water-loving girl, I have a water-loving dog, and I love the out of doors. What could possibly be better than paddling local lakes and lazy rivers with my dog on a stand-up paddleboard? I'm Lisa Waggoner, and we're going to teach you some training tips and techniques so that you too can enjoy stand-up paddleboarding with your dog. What's up, pup? Let's go over some of the prerequisites for your dog before you can seriously consider her as a paddleboarding partner. The first and most important trait for your dog is love of the water. You may love the water, but if your furry friend does not, then you need to help them. Many dogs naturally take to swimming. So if your dog does, fantastic. If not, you need to help your dog learn to love the water. You can start by pairing fun beside the water, treats, game of tug. You might also use a water-loving dog friend to help encourage your dog to go in the water. You also can move to the water, encourage your dog to put her paws in, feed her little bits of treat, and invite her right back out so that she doesn't spend too much time in the water first. Once you're comfortable that your dog has all the prereqs for paddleboarding, now it's time to help your dog develop a love of the paddleboard and the paddle. You know that whoopee look when you pull out the leash? That's the look you want your dog to show you when you pull out your board and paddle. You want to help your dog develop a very positive association with both the board and the paddle. My girl Willow, she was a very confident dog already before we started this sport. So she was used to interacting with new pieces of equipment. I merely put the board down and she began interacting with it because I had done a lot of shaping techniques with her, a certain type of training. She learned to interact with boards. She already has that whoopee look.
So, my dog Cody knows go to mat pretty well. Your dog may know that behavior also, but we're going to show how we can use shaping go to mat to teach the dog to get on the paddle board. So we're going to start with the mat off to the side. I'm going to reset Cody by tossing a piece of food. When he comes back to the mat, I'm going to click. We're going to give him several clicks here just to get him kind of going. I'm going to slide the mat over.
So Brad has moved the mat a little bit closer to the paddleboard now. In your home, when you're very successful with this and your dog is always getting on the mat, on that part of the board, you can then continue to click and treat while the dog is sitting on the board. Targeting comes in handy. What is targeting? Targeting is teaching a dog to touch an object with a part of their body. In this case, I've used hand targeting with Willow. I've taught her to target her nose to my hand. Good. Sort of missed my hand. Let's go. Off we go. Good. Good. Go get that. Good. Let's go to this side. Good. Good. Nice. Off we go. Good. Good. Thank you, Willow. That was great. So now that your dog is comfortable with the board partially on land and partially in the water, it's time to move the board fully in the water, staying in a shallow location. You're going to hold on to the board and position it so that it doesn't move away while you step out a little bit into the water and just move it around while you feed your dog. Good girl. That's so good. How nice. Praise your dog. She's the best dog in the whole world for staying on. Good girl. So this is what it looks like with a dog who's very comfortable already. Obviously, Willow stand-up paddle boards with me. Very comfortable on moving surfaces. Good girl. Okay, off we go. This way. Good girl, nice. So now that your dog has been on the board with the board fully in the water and you're paddling around on your knees, now it's going to be time for you to stand up with your dog on board. This can be a really fun experiment. And I say experiment because you're going to need to have a lot of balance, and so is your dog. In order to stand up, my knees are pretty much on either side of the center of the board. There's a board handle here. I'm going to place my paddle perpendicular to the board. Keeping my hands on my paddle, I'm going to come up on one foot first, the other foot, keeping my knees bent, I'm going to stand up. It'll be a little bit more challenging when your dog's on board, especially if they're new, because they're going to have a tendency to move around. You're going to need to adjust your balance to your dog's movement. Good job. Excellent. Good girl. Nice. Good. As she moves around, I have to keep my balance. Nice job, Willow. So you think you're ready to give supping with your pup a try? No need to go out and buy a board right away. There are plenty of surf shops and other stores that rent stand-up paddle boards. You can be honing your own skills on a stand-up paddle board while you're doing dry land work with your dog. And before you know it, you'll be supping into the sunset with your favorite furry friend.